My first ever business I started when I was 5 years old. So this is a story that I had largely forgotten until I started making some money when I was 24, 25. And my mother reminded me of this chapter in my life. I was 5 years old, obviously completely broke. I come from a low-income family. And I was gifted by my father's sister for my 5th birthday, a small bubblegum machine, little plastic toy. You put bubble gums in the top, you put the American 1-penny piece in it, you turn it, and the bubble gum comes
You talk about like the snowball shaped ones?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a little plastic toy, very, very cheap. Probably cost my aunt no more than $1 or $2 at the time. And I realized very quickly that because the machine was not obviously very well made or properly engineered, the American 1-cent coin and the American 10-cent coin of roughly the same size pushed the mechanism down and made the gumball machine work. So I would walk around outside. I lived in this broke neighborhood, a bunch of really tiny houses and apartments cramped together. And all the local kids would come out and play. And I used to say to them, listen, look, if you want some bubblegum like me, this is the best bubblegum ever. Just go and get your mother's 10-cent coins from their purse, and then you can have the bubblegum. That's how the machine works.
This is America at the time, right?
This was America. So even at that age, a lot of the other kids didn't understand how much money was worth. They didn't understand the difference between the coins, and they were giving me these 10-cent coins. I used to stack them up and pile them up. And it was during this time I learned my first ever lesson in sales, because a kid came to me. Justin was his name. He had a twin brother. Shout out to Justin and Jeremy from Goshen, Indiana, if you are anywhere in this world. And he came up to me with a stack of 25-cent pieces. It must have been about $4 or $5 in money. And he said, my mother doesn't have the coin you're looking for. She only has these.
Give me one
So
of
I kept a completely straight face. I said, listen, don't tell the other kids because you've got the wrong coin. But if you give me those, I'll open up the top and I'll give you 10 bubble gums. And he was like, oh, okay. And I got like $4 or $5 from him. And I think that's where my love of business and my love of money certainly started, because I used to stack up my little piles of coins and look at them. Every time I got bored, at least once a day, I'd stack them up, count them, and admire my little piles of coins like I was Scrooge McDuck on a brokey version. And my mother used to say to me, hey, Tristan, you've got like $25, $30 there. If you give me the coins, I'll give you the paper notes. I was like, no. Don't want the paper notes. I liked stacking up my coins. I liked looking at them.
It looks better as a kid.
It looked much, much better. And that was my first successful business I ever ran. That moved into...
Just a quick one on that. At 5 years old, did you understand that these coins that you were having, did you understand there was obviously money? Did you understand the value of it?
Yes, I understood. And I also knew that I could buy a bag this big of new bubble gums to refill the machine for just $1 at the dollar store. So that's 10 of those coins. So I had my profit and loss all worked out. I was ready. I was prepared. I knew the value of all these coins. A lot of the other kids didn't. And I don't know why I did it. I don't know why I was walking around the neighborhood with the bubblegum machine trying to hustle money out of the other kids. I do not know, because that wasn't very, let's say, ethical, I guess, because the other kids didn't know the value of money. But I was 5. What did I know? What did I care? You know, I was making a bunch of money. I think I bought myself a new bike from just that one bubblegum toy. So, you know, it was a very poor tool, so to speak, to start a business with. But at my age, it worked very well. And I guess
make do with what you got.
Yeah, and that was my first successful business. I guess I could continue until my second ever successful enterprise. I must have been 12 years old. I was living in the United Kingdom at the time, and I was in high school. And this is illegal, by the way, so I'm confessing to a crime. The only crime I've ever really committed. This is the only crime I'm guilty of. And when I was 12, 13 years old, obviously everyone was buying CDs, music CDs. So I had internet access at home. I told my mother to sign up for internet access. So me and a few other kids had internet access at our home computer. And I used to go into the town center with a pen and paper, write down all the songs on the various CDs, and I'd take orders at school. So I'd sell the CDs for £2.50 or £5. And, you know, it went from that to copying video games. I mean, Age of Empires 2 was a very popular one. I mean, I'm 35 now, so we're talking a very long time ago. Rome Total War, when I was about 15, was a popular one. I used to sell these CDs at school. Until one day, I was snitched on by a kid named Wackass, was his name, from Luton. So Wackass, if you're watching, you're a snitch. I hope you've got nowhere in life.
Had to be a Pakistani guy, didn't it?
No, it was a Pakistani guy.
No,
exactly. Well, you could tell from the name. So anyway, Wackass snitched on me, and my teachers found all these music CDs in school, and obviously you're not allowed to be selling things in school. And I was a very good student. I was the straight A student. All the teachers liked me. So they called my mother to to the school. She didn't have a car, so she walked all the way to school for this meeting with my head of year. And we sat down, and she was like, Tristan's been selling these CDs. This is actually, he shouldn't be doing this. It's illegal to be copying these music CDs and selling them at school. And as I was walking home, my mother looked at me and said, look, Tristan, you're going to have to stop now because your teachers have caught you. Mm-hmm. But I had no idea you were doing this. And to be honest, it's quite smart. That's where you got the money for the bike. That's where you got the money for the backpack and the clothes and the shoes. I was like, yeah, I'm just selling music CDs. So I guess that was my second ever successful enterprise. But thanks to and I learned that lesson very early on. Don't, I guess, let untrustworthy people into your circle. Whack-ass saw how much money I was making, straight snitched on me.
I was going to say, why do you think he snitched on you? Because he realized how much money you're making.
I think that's why. I think it's because he realized how much money I was making.
It wasn't a case of like you had sold him a game, something, a copy one, and then it suddenly stopped working. And
no. All the games worked perfectly fine. I'd even get those weird codes you had to enter to stop copywriting. Yeah, you go on the Pirate Bay and find those little codes, and you'd sell those with the CD. You write them on the front of the CD. Properly. Yeah, it was all good. Yeah. It was all good. But Whack-ass snitched on me, and that was, I confess, an illegal enterprise. Yeah. So hopefully, I don't get sued by the company in business or out of business that makes Age of Empires 2. But I probably sold maybe 10 illegal copies of it. But that was my first and only criminal enterprise. And I guess my second successful business enterprise.